Hi everyone, welcome to Teaching Moment Tuesday. It is blustering, I think is the right word, outside. So hopefully that noise won't be too disturbing, but let's charge on anyway and see how we go. If you remember last Tuesday, I introduced Howard Gardner and his concept of multiple intelligences. And since then, something has come up. In the diagram that I posted on Facebook and Instagram, there were only 8 intelligences. And through a bit more research and some comments from people, I've discovered that there is a 9th, and it's existential intelligence. That is a mighty big word. And what I'm going to do is leave it until last and look into it in a bit more depth then. But today we're going to have just a quick little look at musical intelligence. The reason I really like this one too is it's a fun one to introduce into the classroom, because not only your kids who have musical intelligence will benefit from it, but everyone will. And this is what I think about most. When teachers implement strategies to help kids with certain needs, for example, if there's a student in the class who's been diagnosed with autism, and the teacher might have certain things that we put in place in order to make their learning more accessible, the chances are those changes that we've put in place, those differentiation activities or moments, will actually help the class as a whole and not just the kid that has those needs. And I think it's a bit the same with the multiple intelligences. So it can be as simple as having music on in the room when the kids come in every morning. I did that, I had a term working at a school last year, and I tried to have that music going every morning. And it sets a mood. It sets a way of thinking, and if you walk in the door and you might be feeling a bit heavy, sometimes all it needs is a song to lift you up. And there was often feedback, oh, I know that song, Miss Caro, and I know this, and oh, my dad listens to that all the time. And a lot of feedback and conversation came from it as well. The other way I like to use music, and remember at the very beginning I told you that it would be the best learning comes from sharing. This lesson I nicked from a colleague. He was doing weekly affirmations, but using songs in which to do this. So, and not boring old educational songs, but really cool songs from his youth and from now, and music that had lyrics that had something to say. And so what he would do, and then what I ended up doing in my classes, would be printing the lyrics, having the kids sit in a big circle, and every morning we would sing that song. But more than that, we would then say, okay, what's going on? What's being said? How do you interpret this song? Oh, really? What makes you say that? And pulling out the affirmative, the affirmation that this song was sharing, and what did it mean, and how could the kids apply it to their lives? Also, if the opportunity was available, we would do images, so some drawings to go with the song. So you're also catering to visual learning. So you have artwork being done while you're listening to the song, all of which is tied in with the language of the lyrics that was read as the song was being sung. So it's a really beautiful activity that culminates a whole lot of things. And that was a weekly affirmation. So there's that. Last week I mentioned that I often use multiple intelligences with spelling, and with music it's pretty straightforward. It's a bit like the bodily kinesthetic, but instead of bouncing a basketball, you might be shaking a maraca, or playing a tambourine, dinging a triangle. Anything that's got the sense of rhythm and melody to it is really what you're looking for when using music for that. I've come across a website, and I will put the URL in my comments for this video, but it talks about the strengths of children with multiple intelligence, such as they have great listening skills, and they're attracted to interesting sounds and music, and they can identify rhythms and patterns really well. And the type of activities that they enjoy, which is learning language and learning grammar, listening to music, singing songs and rhymes. I think, and this is why in kindy and in pre-primary, so much of the learning is song-based, because that rhythm, that melody, that rhyming is what helps us retain. So often rote learning, every now and then there are things that you do just need to have in your head. Doing so by song can be really beneficial. It talks about helping children with musical intelligence learn. So have them read books that have rhythmic language in it, because that's going to be something that they'll pick up more easily, and help them find patterns in everything they see. I particularly like the link to mathematics because it talks about, well, actually it doesn't here, I must have read it somewhere else, but the musicality of mathematics, which is interesting. And I think that comes from the balance of equations and the, I'm lost for words here, but there's something to that. Here we go. So counting, rhythm, scales, intervals, patterns, symbols, harmonies, time signatures, overtones, tone, pitch. The notations of composers and sounds made by musicians are connected to mathematics. The next time you hear or play classical, rock, folk, religious, ceremonial, jazz, opera, pop, or contemporary types of music, think of what mathematics and music have in common and how mathematics is used to create the music you enjoy. I'm going to leave that there. I think that's great home learning if you're interested. No, nothing you have to do, but if you want to follow that up, especially if your musical intelligence is high up on your multiple intelligence list. But yeah, so this is what's so beautiful about it. It just makes so many different subjects accessible. So that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to show you the difference between bodily kinesthetic from last week and musical intelligence from this week. So feel free to like the videos and to subscribe and to share and to get in touch with me and let me know what you're enjoying. I'm so excited for Feedback Friday because I have some bits and pieces to feedback. I've had a few questions asked of me, and I've also had someone send in some pictures of their flower journal, which I'm going to share with you. So anyone else who wants to create and send and share, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right, you have a great day. Bye.